Hey guys, if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, I hope that you are. You probably remember that at the end of last year, I took my 7x14 enclosed trailer and sold it. And then I bought a bigger one. This one is an 8.5 by 24. And I got the 8.5 by 24 because I figured that it would be more useful for a variety of different things. I can use it for just about anything I want to. But something that I've noticed just in the last, 3 or 4 months, kind of got my attention, is that the ramp door may not be sufficient for doing everything that you have in mind. So I just wanted to explain to you today what I have found out, and maybe it'll help one of you guys. Yeah, so you can see right now we've got the mattresses still in here from our last camping trip. We actually put up the mattresses, we put some bed sheets on there and we sleep in here. I've got some shelving up in the front up there and a fan. And it just makes it a little bit nicer for primitive camping. Again, I wasn't really going for a homemade RV. I just wanted to not have to sleep in a tent anymore, and this enclosed trailer has been pretty awesome for that. But in addition to camping out of it, we haul the UTV, the ATV. I haul the tractor in it. The tractor fits in here real nice. If one of our teenagers breaks down, I could go get their car off the side of the road. So you can do a lot of different things with these trailers of this size. But something that I hadn't thought of is that just because the trailer capacity is rated to haul something, that doesn't necessarily mean that the ramp door is. And here's what got me to realize this. Back in February, January, February, when I decided to get a new tractor, we took the old tractor that we had. It was a what they call a compact tractor. It was a New Holland TC29. We traded it in on the new version of basically the same thing. And when we went to load it up, we noticed something very interesting. Now, Tucker might not be too much weight for this ramp, but when we went to drive the tractor up into the trailer, this ramp door started cracking and popping like a bowl of Rice Krispies. It made all kinds of horrible noises. I actually got a little worried there for a minute. I thought that I was going to fold my ramp door in half. And so that got me to thinking, am I overloading this thing? So you can see this trailer has the 6-lug axles. These are 5,200 pound axles, so it gives it a total GVWR of 10,000 pounds. Now they always stamp them 99.90. It's just a kind of a clerical thing, because some states use 10,000 even as a breakover for weight classes or whatever. So they stamp them 99.90. But basically it's a 10,000 pound trailer, and you can see over here that it has 6,430 pounds of payload capacity. So what that means is, obviously, you can put up to 6,430 pounds of weight inside this trailer. Now, conventional wisdom would have it that if you're going to build an enclosed trailer, or any trailer for that matter, that has a ramp door, you would build the ramp door to handle at least the same amount of weight that the deck of the trailer can handle, right? Let's say, for example, your trailer could haul 5,000 pounds on the deck. Well, what good is that if you can't load a 5,000 pound machine into it, right? So, logic, common sense, you would think that the ramp door would handle the weight that the trailer can handle. But what I've discovered is that is not the case. So I actually contacted Lark United Manufacturing, which is the maker of this trailer. But like I've talked about many times before, there's like 50 million different brands of these trailers that come out of South Georgia. So they're all pretty much the same. And what they told me was that on these trailers, these ones that are considered to be car haulers, the ramp door has a 4,500 pound weight rating. Now, some of these trailers, if you get one that has like the 3,500 pound axles, the lighter duty setup, some of them have as low as 1,500 pounds of weight capacity on this ramp door. So that doesn't do you a whole lot of good. I mean, my my Arctic Cat side by side wouldn't even be able to go up that ramp door. It weighs almost 2,000 pounds. Most side-by-sides, UTVs, are 1,500 pounds or more. So there's probably a lot of guys out there who are overloading these things and don't even know it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Now you can see the construction of this one seems to be like 1.5 inch steel tubing and then they've got 3/4 inch plywood screwed down to that. So it is a pretty robust door. And I will say, when I got this trailer, you know, I had the 7x14. When I traded it in or I sold it and I got this one, I immediately noticed that this door feels a lot heavier. You know, it still has the cable assist, spring-loaded cable assist, but even with that, this door is heavy and hard to, you know, pick up. You know, a kid, you know, my 12, 13-year-old son have, you know, some trouble with it if they're trying to do it on their own, which I don't really advise, because if something were to break and the door started to fall, it would probably crush them. But yeah, I mean, you got to be a pretty healthy person to close this door even with the spring assist, and that wasn't the case on the other one. So I could tell immediately that it was a much heavier duty door. But even so, when I started to load that little tractor up in here, it started cracking and popping and worried me. So I started adding up all the numbers on the tractor, and it's probably right at the max for this door. 4,500 pounds of weight. It's about what I've got on this little tractor. So that's what these sheets of wood here are for, is that when I do decide to load up the tractor, I can take these additional little sections of plywood, scrap that I had left over in my barn, and I just kind of lay them out on the ramp just to give it even more support and try to help it out, because I definitely don't want to bend one of these things up. I've been there and done that before, and it is not fun, you know, because then your door won't ever seal properly again. You'll have air leaks and water leaks, and it'll just never be right again unless you put a whole new door on it. So I don't want to do that. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting, you know, that they would build these trailers in a way that you can put a whole lot more weight in the trailer than you can drive into the trailer. So I guess what they figure is, you know, if you wanted to load one of these through the side door, you know, you can put more weight in it that way. But as far as just driving a tractor, a car, UTV, whatever, up into your trailer, you got to watch your weight ratings. So yeah, if you're going to go buy a new enclosed trailer and you have plans of hauling heavy equipment or whatever the case might be, just make sure that you find out what your ramp door is rated for before you sign the dotted line on that trailer. You know, I know there's a lot of guys out there that haul, you know, lawn and garden equipment. Some of those bigger zero-turn mowers are pretty heavy machines too. You know, you can haul any manner of things in these trailers. So, you know, like I said, just something that I had never really thought of it before, because I never really needed to. I never hauled anything heavy in here before, or in one of these trailers before. But when I started putting that tractor in there, I was like, ooh, I need to check into this. So hopefully, you know, that'll help you guys out. Make sure you look into that and find out what the specs are. And I can't remember if I went into it in much detail or not after our last camping trip, but that Husky Centerline TS hitch setup, weight distributing hitch setup, worked awesome. I really like it. And you can see where the bars have been rubbing in there, and that's, you know, that's how they work. The friction of those bars is what kind of gives you the sway control. But that thing worked awesome. I mean, it was pretty easy to hook up. If you have the ability to run an electric dolly, that would really help, because you need to jack that thing all the way up after it's connected to your truck, and that'll make it easier to put your bars on there. I have to manually crank it, which, you know, is doable, but gosh, it would sure be nice to have an electric one. But other than that, I mean, this hitch setup works awesome. So I highly recommend the Husky Centerline TS if you're looking for a weight distribution setup. And the price, really, relative to what else was out there, the price was actually pretty good too. I think I paid $350-ish or so for it, which was quite a bit less expensive than some of the other similar ones that I found out there. So anyway, I'm really happy with that. It gives me the ability to tow this big trailer with my Jeep Gladiator and have no fears, no problems whatsoever. Very controlled, and it did a great job, and I'm just super happy with the setup. One other little item that I did add was a set of mud guards, mud flaps, splash guards, whatever you want to call them. I basically just bought some sheets of rubber off of eBay and put them on here, and the reason why is because, you know, the tires throw a whole lot of junk up under the trailer and it blasts the framework, and, you know, I don't want the framework on this trailer to rust out any faster than it's going to anyway. You probably remember when I took these wheels and tires off not long ago, and sanded and undercoated the entire thing. I also painted the framework up under the entire trailer. Both of those things were sucky jobs that were not fun at all. But in the long run, I figure that if it, you know, makes this trailer last longer and protects the investment, maybe it'll be worth it. But yeah, I like those mud guards because, like I said, it keeps all that crap from getting up under, you know, the framework of the trailer back here. So that was a nice little addition that was very cheap. I think it was like 25 bucks for this one and the other one on the other side. And I just screwed them on there with some self-tapping screws I already had. So, you know, that was a pretty quick little mod that does a whole lot of good. So the Aussies are out there in the field playing. It's a beautiful day finally. We had some pretty serious storms the other day, and that tree, if you caught this in one of my more recent videos, I was talking about this dead tree that we've got back here. Believe it or not, it didn't come down in that big storm we had the other day. We've had a lot of tree damage around the area, but this dead tree didn't come down. I guess the thing is, since it's dead, it doesn't have any foliage on it, so it doesn't get a whole lot of wind load, you know, when the wind is howling, because it seems like this thing just won't break up. But I had a lot of people who saw that video. They asked me, why don't you just cut the tree down? Well, there's a couple of reasons. This corner right here is the property line between my property and my neighbor's. The gate, see right there? This is the where it joins my neighbor's property. And that tree technically is on her property. I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I went in there and cut it down, you know, if I asked her. But it also has a really bad lean to it. And so when it comes down, it is going to take out her fence or my fence or both. And it's just really dangerous because it's so old and rotted. I mean, this is one of those trees you would have to basically hire a professional to do to be on the safe side, because they'd have to go up there and top it, you know, and then cut the trunk down here. So it's just a lot of work and a lot of money. So I'm kind of waiting it out, hoping that Mother Nature will do the trick. And that's why I laid these, if you didn't catch the video, that's why I laid these additional posts that I just had laying around. I just laid them over top so that when it does fall down, hopefully it'll strike those posts and break up before it wipes out my fence or my gate. That's the idea anyway. But we had a lot of wind the other day and it didn't do any good. So one of these days that thing will come down though. Just a matter of time, and then I can remove those posts after it's safely down. Or if the top of it would just break up, you know, if it would break off like right there, so that that's all that was left, then I probably would try to cut it, because then I know I could get it on the ground safely. But anyway, that's what's up with that. But yeah, we had a lot of storm cleanup to do. The New Holland Workmaster came in handy, went down through here and picked up a whole lot of branches and sticks. Set them up here on the burn pile so we can have a nice little bonfire before long. But anyway, that's about it for this video, guys. I appreciate you watching. I mean, you guys really do help this channel to continue, and I appreciate it. But anyway, like I said, that's just one of those things I noticed when I tried to load the tractor, and I just thought I'd mention it because I know it's something that a lot of guys probably don't think about. So hopefully it's helpful to you. Anyway, you guys have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you later.